why don't you give us an overview of there's a lot of stuff happening in the market right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So give us an overview, and then we'll kind of unpack the individual stories I think will pertain to the audience.
Yeah, so are we going to start with like Joe Rogan? Are we going to start with what Machine Gun Kelly said about Kendall Jenner in an interview in 2013? Like, are we talking about like what market? Like the finance stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I want to get into all of that.
Yeah,
I want to
okay.
get into all that. That's going to be the show this afternoon.
Okay, all right.
I really, really love. Well, it's just crazy. Machine Gun Kelly thing to me, and how he just is able to attract very, 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 very attractive women.
Yeah.
That's a different show.
You know what I don't understand?
Tell me.
I don't know.
Because I'm a big fan of Megan Fox, but anyway.
I'm a big fan of everything, okay? And here's what I don't know what I missed in life. So like here I am. I'm like this meathead. You know, my name's Steve.
Yeah.
And I drive a sedan. And
drive a nice sedan.
There's this guy out there who wears and I'm not knocking anything, but he wears pearls, okay? Like my grandmother wore. Like he has like pearl necklaces and earrings, and he wears like nightgowns and stuff.
Yeah. And
his name is Machine Gun.
Right.
Like I have no like my nickname is literally a snowman. Frosty the snow. Like I got a snowman, and he's named after like the deadliest killing thing there is, a machine gun. And he wears nightgowns. Like
I don't get it. We're gonna talk.
I missed something.
We're gonna talk a lot about that this afternoon.
Yeah. Okay.
For now,
anyway,
let's talk about housing and the economy and the jobs report, and then we got some really good stuff to cover today.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff as far as like you just said, like economy, housing, jobs, like all these things, right? Like there's so much data, and there's so much like cause and effect that are involved there, and then then like what's it really doing, right?
Sure.
So today the big news today was the jobs report, and that was two part, right? So we're coming, this report that we're counting the jobs from was from last month, and that's really when like the latest variant came out, right? And everybody was ill, or they had to take time off, or businesses closed, or they couldn't work, or there was infections.
Never set my watch, by the way.
Like all this stuff going on. And I didn't mind today.
Attaboy.
I hate doing it though. I feel like I'm gonna break it every time.
So talk to.
If it broke, I'd be pissed.
I want to understand, like, unpack the jobs report and the impact it has on mortgage rates and the economy.
Yeah. So
what are you saying? Don't cut you off. Let you talk. All right, go.
Yeah, thanks. So what happened is the jobs report came out, right? And here's how interest rates look at it. So interest rates are super afraid of inflation, right?
Mortgage interest rates
don't like inflation, because what happens is that and a lot of it can be controlled by the Federal Reserve and the government, but and the markets. But what happens is interest rates think like, okay, if people have more money to spend and interest rates are low, then investors are gonna want to pull away from the interest rate market.
Hold on, this might be my kid's school.
Oh, all right.
Hello, this is Brandon. Yep, this is Brandon.
My name is Tammy. I'm calling you today on behalf of the Kids Wish Network. For the new year, the charity needs help granting wishes to children that are battling life-threatening illnesses. I am with Innovative, a paid fundraiser. Just asking if these kids could count on your support with a small tax-deductible donation. Brandon, would that be okay?
1,000%. You get me in kids and sickness, you just hit me right in the heart. So, yes. Well, and you know what? I train cold callers, and you did a really good job, and you did something specific, which is the anti-reactance script, which you ask people if they're okay with something, putting that person in control. Did you know you did that?
By using your name?
Well, using my name, and then you said, would you be okay with that? Like, can we count on you? Would you be okay with that? Giving me the illusion that I was in control of the situation, and you weren't forcing me to do anything. So congratulations to you on that.
Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that.
So do you guys send something to my house every year, right? And then I put the check in there?
Yes, they can do that, or you can pay over the phone. It just depends on your comfort level.
I'm shooting a live podcast right now, so if you could just send something to my house, that would be phenomenal.
I absolutely can. I have several different donation levels. Top sponsors at $200, platinum at $100, gold at $50.
Let's do the 200.
200, great. Thank you so much.
That is correct. Yes. Cool. Thank you so much. Keep making good moves today. You sound great on the phone. Keep rocking and rolling. Thanks. That's correct. Mulrenin, yep. We're going to do, can you send the thing to my house where I put the check in there? Because I'm on a live broadcast podcast right now. You're kind of on the show. So if you could, hi. Yeah, she said hi, everybody. So yeah, if you can just send it to my house, that'd be great. No problem. Thank you guys so much. All right. All right, bye.
Great job, dude.
Yeah, well, I do that every year.
Oh,
all right. So anyway, where do we leave
all right.
off?
So mortgage rates, they don't
yes.
like inflation, and they don't like a lot of jobs, and they don't like wage growth because it's really simple, right? So like a mortgage-backed security or a treasury note, which is how those things are traded, and their returns determine interest rates that you pay as a consumer. Well, when nobody wants to buy those because they all have money, which means you're buying other stuff.
Yeah.
And so these companies like, Target or like a Lululemon, like all these stocks are going up, right? Because revenues
you keep
up.
buying so much clothes from Lulu.
This is the greatest shirt on the planet.
Every day you show up, you have a new wardrobe from Lulu.
No, I don't.
You have a $50,000 wardrobe from Lulu.
Probably not. Yeah. I'm a good sales guy. But they have, so nobody's buying these things because they're like, well, let's invest in these stock because there's more jobs, wage growth is up.
Yeah.
All these things are up. So they're like, let's invest in stock where the revenue's higher and where people are spending their money. Well, then they come back, well, the mortgage-backed security and the treasury got to be like, hey, well, we'll give you more money if you buy us, because nobody wants to put supply and demand, right? So interest rates go up. So that's why they don't like that. So what happened today with the jobs report is we're coming off of this variant and we're like, okay, jobs should be like 150,000 new jobs created, right?
Okay.
Like 150,000 people got new jobs. That's going to be a good number, that's a dismal number for employment, especially coming from where we've been, right? And that number came back today at 467,000 jobs created instead of 150,000, which was, that's a massive, massive miss to the high side. So interest rates are kind of like, oh my God, we got to run up, no one's going to invest in these mortgage-backed securities because everybody's working now.
Yeah.
And they're spending money again.
So the lens that you look through, like when people hear that, I would venture to say outside of the mortgage industry, everyone's clapping and excited.
Yes.
The economy is excited about that. People are getting back to work. So I just want to clarify that, right?
Yep.
So, but through the lens of like from the mortgage industry, lending, that type of thing, it has a huge impact on interest rates.
Yeah.
So much so, let's get into interest rates. So you just priced out a loan this morning.
Yeah. So I priced out a loan this morning just to see where I was at. And so I did 780 credit score.
Yep.
$275,000
Here comes the disclaimer.
Purchase with 20% down in Michigan. Like that does interest rates don't care where you're at. It's all the same.
Yeah.
And that loan with no points priced out today at 3.91%.
Unbelievable. When was the last time you saw rates that close to 4%?
Like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So probably
like
mid 2019. Yeah.
That's incredible. So here's the next thing I want to talk about, all right? Because I want to, we got lots to cover.
Hey, but think about that in 2019, right? That's when we had, that was before. So if you think about like some of the political theory out there, right?
Yeah.
That was when Trump was president.
Yep.
And this was right before the pandemic. And everybody said that, not everybody, but there was people out there saying that the pandemic was created to crash his economy to help push the election one way. And I'm not being political, but I'm just saying that was a theory, right?
Sure.
But think about that. That in that late 2019, mid to late 2019, our economy was absolutely rocking and rolling.
Absolutely.
We had the Ferrari of economies on the planet. And then it all went down, and nobody's complaining then. Now the only thing the only variable in this that's messing the whole thing up is inflation.
Yeah,
so
true.
We had the highest inflation in the last 30 years now.
Yeah,
and we're back at an employment number that are pre-pandemic levels.
Right,
but the prices of goods are outpacing wage growth.
Yeah, and that's the thing that is really determining where this economy's headed.
Yeah,
and so I want to come back to that in just a second, but I want to talk about this, like, rates are in the headlines of, like, if you Google housing market, it's like all interest rates are soaring, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? I want to talk through whether or not that has an impact on the housing market of 2022, on the number of sales, and are people going to wait to buy? And specifically this is the conversation I couldn't wait to have with you this morning. And we talk a little bit about it in the past, but that is like, I'm talking to so many. How you doing over there, Mike?
I'm really into it.
I
feel like I'm getting a lot closer. I don't have to hold on to it, which we've talked about before.
Yeah,
so I like it.
You can today. I got this, so you couldn't break anything.
I know, I broke that. Dude, those cables suck.
They're
what
terrible.
is with that? And everything has a different plug now.
Yeah.
Like my kids, we have Mario Kart Live. It's got this little car. It's super fun to play with on the Nintendo Switch. We don't have the charge for it.
Yeah.
That's gone. We got a 3D little doodle printer thing.
Well, you know what else I can do with this thing?
We don't have the connector for it.
So, like, here, talk real quick.
Yeah, I'm talking about this now. Oh, and I can get louder.
Yep. And so
that's pretty.
I can control. So look, I have you a little bit louder because you tend to get away from that.
Well, and it's all different. I thought this was Simon Says. We sat down. I'm like, oh my god, this is like an F1 reaction game. Like we're gonna get quicker.
Okay. So my question specifically is this: I'm talking to our agents at our company, and their number one thing they have their clients, whether they're a buyer or seller, bring up to them is, I would love to sell. I would love to take advantage of this market, but there's nowhere to go. Then we have buyers saying, well, I'm going to wait until prices come back down. So I'm asking you what you think makes more sense. Buying a house while interest rates are low, or buying a house when interest rates are higher, but the price is lower. I want to get into this a little bit. And there's some math, I would assume, in this conversation.
Yeah.
There's some philosophical beliefs inside this conversation. But I want to get into it a little bit. What would you rather do?
I would simplify the whole conversation. And I would say you can pay a high price once, or you can pay a higher rate for the next 30 years for how long you're going to be in the home. Like if everybody that buys, rarely do I like 25, 30 purchase transactions a month. I never have anybody say, oh, this is my 2-year house. Nobody ever says that.
That's a great point.
They're like, I'm going to be here forever.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here for 10 years. I'm going to be here while my kids go to school, or I'm an empty nester and I'm going to live in this ranch forever, or like whatever it is. Like, so that's the easiest argument. Like you can go through all these numbers, and I tell people, I'm like, look, if you buy right now, you're only going to pay a high price once.
Right.
Like if you wait and you pay that higher interest rate, you're going to pay that interest rate every monthly payment for the next however long you're in your house.
So what I hear you saying is you would rather buy a house that is more expensive now, but lower in interest. That'd be your answer.
Yeah.
Because here the reason I'm asking you like that is because we have clients that ask us every day. They're looking for our opinion, and I think there is a right answer to this. And I'm in line with, that's why I was curious to get your thoughts. Yeah. I'm in line with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think it is a math problem. And I do want to get into this a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I always keep it simple. So that's why I have that approach to it. But, and even if you want to look philosophically, or you want to look like market data or whatever it might be, housing prices in 2020 and part of 2021, they shot up. They went up like 20%, which was insane, right?
Yep.
But now that we're getting more year-over-year data from 2021, we're seeing like 2% and 3%, 5%.
Absolutely.
Like, so that rate of appreciation has really slowed down, and it's majorly normalizing. And it's normalizing in an environment where we still have a massive shortage of homes.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a
5
million home shortage right now, right? So our typical inventory is short 5 million homes to regulate supply and demand. So if you think about the numbers. So every year as a country, builders can build about 500,000 homes a year, right?
Yeah.
When there's no material shortages, when there's nothing crazy going on. So that being said, you're at like 10 years to regulate that, right?
Yeah.
And then you come in and you think about it like, okay, well, we looked at some data the other day from 2009 and through 2020 or something, had the lowest number of homes built for that decade in like the last 4 decades or something.
Well,
like,
it's funny you bring this up, and I didn't even tell you I was doing this. I got a couple pictures. We're gonna play.
Oh, what a beautiful photo!
Yeah, so we got some pictures to show on the show today. All right, so inventory. To your point, record low. We're at 271,000 houses for sale across the country. Yeah. There are no houses for sale, which is going to keep values high. But just really quickly before we lose that thought, I want to just go back to, again, the conversation around buy now, wait, this whole conversation.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep getting away from
no, it's okay. I really, really honestly believe that if you do the math and you amortize a loan, you nailed it. People would be better off financially buying now when prices are high while interest rates are still low versus waiting for this market to crash and prices go down 20%. Who knows when that happens, if ever. And interest rates, because in order for that to happen, would you say it's safe to assume that if the housing prices go down and buyers like, yippee, now I'm going to buy a house, that the mortgage interest rates will then be the opposite of that and be super, super high?
Right, they'll go up. Right.
Okay, so that's my whole point. I think they'd be a lot better off buying the house now with rates under 4% than waiting until prices are down and buying a house when they're at 7%.
Right.
And do the math, people. Run an amortization.
Right.
And you will be like, holy, I am not waiting.
Right. I wouldn't wait. I mean, I'm not waiting. I'm selling a house and I have nowhere to go. And I'm building a house that's going to take 14 months.
Yeah.
And you have to think about, so rates continue to rise and inventory starts to catch up with the demand.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that your house, that the values are going to crash or there's going to be a real estate crash. Will it soften? Will the market or the rates of appreciation soften? Will you maybe have less competition on the homes that you're looking at buying? Absolutely. I mean, there's still like nice houses, depending on the price range, are still selling with 8, 9, 12 offers.
Right.
With, the offers that are winning are the ones that are putting down 60%, massive appraisal guarantees, no contingencies, and all these kind of things. There's a lot more things that are going to loosen up and soften in the market before we actually see prices go down. Maybe your 5% down offer on that perfect house gets accepted rather than not even being looked at.
Yeah. Yeah. So and so now I want to talk about building, right? You're building a house right now. You're saying I'm going to sell my house. How did that showing go anyway? Did you hear back yet?
No.
Nothing back.
Yeah, we did. We heard back.
Oh, you
so
saw
yeah. So the response was
they
they loved it.
people want to know at home. You guys want to know how a showing went?
Yeah, so it's off market, but it was they're looking at other homes. The agent had a really good thing. She's like, this is their favorite house, but sometimes she goes, this is their favorite house and it's the best house for them, but sometimes they don't know until they see other ones.
Yeah, perspective
is
always
some other
really,
houses.
perspective is very powerful.
So for me, I'm like, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. My wife is like, why is she making us wait? Like, why would they not just tell us right now if they want there? I'm like, not everybody makes a decision.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Well, I mean, we talk about it all the time, but selling is super emotional for people that are outside of the industry. I
was telling my Jamie that works for me about this today, and she said, she goes, well, when I was 14, if God bless you. So it's coming out. But she's like, I got this boy broke up with me. And she's like, we'd only been dating for like 2 weeks. And she's like,
airing her dirty laundry.
Yeah, airing dirty laundry. And he's like, you're a red Skittle. And those are my favorite Skittles. But I would really never know that unless I tasted the rainbow. It's like, that was a breakup move. I was like, wow. I'm so bad at breaking up because I would just go dark and be like, sorry.
Well, that just
my arm fell off. I don't know.
That goes to show you perspective is everything.
Yeah, right, for sure.
So you're building a house. And so, going back to inflation, tying this all together with the housing market, especially with new construction.
Yeah.
Lumber prices have been an absolute disaster.
Up and down.
And, up and down. Lowest they've ever been this week. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So, do you know what caused a lot of the lumber issues?
From what I understand, trucking.
Well, railroads specifically. Okay. There was a huge railroad debacle that essentially it was really difficult to get lumber. And so building a house last year was very, very expensive. And hopefully the prices for you come back down.
Yeah.
But this is another thing driving the housing market specifically, putting the economy aside. If we're going to see an increased inventory, you say it all the time, like the number of homes being built, all-time low. That hopefully will pick up this year if the supply chain thing can get fixed with lumber specifically, which based on some of the reports that literally came out yesterday, and I was researching this before today's show, it looks better. Like prices have come way down. I'm trying to look for this damn report. I can't find it.
There's a big, so the number that's improving, so like housing starts, right? That's like new building permits, like constructors or builders, construction companies drawing permits to start building homes is really doing well. So those reports are pretty positive for the most part. The one that's bad is the completion number. And it's not even like you can get lumber, it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
You can get certain things that's expensive, right? But the one part that's really killing people right now are appliances. So you can't get a certificate of occupancy on a new construction home without appliances. And appliances, what operates a refrigerator these days? A chip.
Yeah.
You got a chip. How the hell are you going to have a refrigerator with a TV and a camera in it without a chip?
So check this out. So this is lumber prices. And so this is down. Well, let me move this. So this is down quite a bit. And this is just literally recently right now. But this is good to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So everyone that's trying to build a house, which again, these builders are we need it. We need inventory. We just talked about inventory being so low.
Yeah.
New construction can be a big solve for this housing market. And now I want your thoughts on another thing. Because you're so damn handy, you're like the handiest dude ever. You could build anything.
I don't know about that.
Everything
ends up way bigger than it's supposed to be, but I can try.
We're gonna go to Home Depot. We're gonna do this. I told you about this.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of videos on YouTube about people buying these sheds, they're really nice sheds at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
Yeah.
So they're like $15,000. Okay.
Yeah.
But they're nice.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to you about this a couple weeks ago. Is it viable to get one of these things for $15,000, finish the inside, right? Because they come, there's no insulation in them, but they have windows or real roof. They're studded out and they're ready to rumble.
Yeah.
Then there are two floors.
Yeah.
And so we'll put an image of one on the screen right now. But dude, these things are incredible. Talk me through, what do you think it would take to make this a viable home to help this, inventory crisis that we're in? I'll try to pull one of these up right now. Go ahead.
Have you seen Building Alaska, or like the Alaska, the Final Frontier?
No.
See how some of those people live? I mean, nothing against that. I mean, because that is some serious bush stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I 100% think you can. I mean, I don't think when it comes to I'm not a builder, so I don't know all the codes and all the shit that's involved with space and this and that. But if you have a structure, if you have a building, right, of any size, and you add, in my opinion, I don't think it could be livable without running water, but Alaska proves me wrong all the time on that because I watch those shows.
Look at this bad boy, dude. All right, this thing's $10,710 right? So get out of here.
Look at those dormers on that. I think
look
that's
at
an
this house.
option.
I mean, this is legit.
Nice.
This is a 2-story house.
Yeah.
This
And
is
you could
the
totally.
upstairs.
So the one thing that went to my head is how could you insulate that? But look, it's already all set up for insulation.
That's what I'm
and everything.
saying.
You could absolutely do that. 100%.
And so
Totally viable.
Remember I asked you the question? Dude, there's so much talk about these things.
Yeah.
The viability of this is real. How big is this one? This is a 12 by 24. So how many square feet is that?
288.
Yeah. Look at
Is that right?
I don't know.
I know 12 times 12
But you
is
can even get them
144.
bigger.
I don't know.
Look at these things, man.
Is that right? If I did that right off the top of
Dude,
my head, I
look
should
at
get. You're
this.
buying lunch if I did that.
I'll buy lunch, no problem.
Was that 24 by 12? Pretty smart.
Look at this. This is a 2-story house, man.
Dude, that's a nice house.
Well, I'm just saying,
That's nice.
I'm not messing around. I'm being very serious. There's a lot of people looking at these. Look at this. You can get this house at Home Depot. $16,000.
That's 16 grand. What do you think? If you're savvy, you could be 5,000 to finish out the inside nicely. And then, here's the thing though. You got to,
go ahead.
You got to think sewer, septic, well, water, utility hookup and all that. If you really want to go ham and live off the grid, you could do that pretty easily.
Dude, delivery included. This is the tough shed. Okay. 12.6, $250 mortgage payment. There's your mortgage payment. 2-story house. And so the question I think that you got to is okay, where do you put this thing? Because land, and then remember I was asking you about this.
Yeah.
So
would you live in one of those?
I'm looking into it. I knew you were going to ask me that, dude. We're not. I'm just.
I have
generally
an idea.
speaking.
I have a money making idea.
Okay, talk to me about it. This isn't about me or you. Okay?
No.
Don't make this about me.
It is about you. Us. I will live in there with you. I'll do this with you. But did you buy that
men's lounge?
If
that
you
what you're
have
thinking?
didn't you have a lot next door to your house?
I just bought it.
Could we split the cost of this shed and build it on your new lot?
Potentially, yeah.
We could tap into your
that's a good idea.
your whole house's thing. We could vlog
We could document the whole thing.
Document the whole thing.
Not a bad idea.
2 suburban dads end up in a shed.
Oh my god,
that might be like our dream come true. We get a TV, recliners.
We filmed the men's lounge in there.
We're like Chandler and Joey with the chairs.
Hey, I think you're on to something.
Talk to me.
But honestly, we need to
tap into your Wi-Fi. I'm living there right now. In my mind, I'm living there.
Yeah, we're gonna see. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see. We'll continue to update the people, the great people at home that watch our show, the 2 or 3 people that watch the show.
Yeah,
we'll continue to get you updated. Yeah, go ahead.
One final thought,
Please.
And going back to my mortgage stuff, because that's what I do. So, and I was telling you that I said, and not that we always love this idea, but if people are buying a house, right, and you're going to put down a good down payment, right? So the down payment has no impact on the interest rate when you have good credit on a mortgage.
Okay.
Right? So if you're going to put down 20% and you have a 750 plus credit score, if you're really caught up on the rate, so when I price that loan out to go down to 2.9% from 3.9, was 3.5 points.
Okay.
Right? So on $220,000 loan, that cost $7,700.
Okay.
Right? So instead of putting down your 20%, if you're really caught up on rate, put down 16.5%, pay your 3.5 points to get the lower rate. Then you'll have a mortgage insurance with that credit score and a mortgage insurance under 85% of the value.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like $30 a month. That will eventually fall off. You get your rate, and if that's your forever home, you've won both ways. You've got the lowest possible rate, and you're only paying the high price for the home once. Just something. Always look at all your options. Like if you're caught up on rate, ask your lender. Say, dude, I want a rate in the 2s. Like that feels good to me. What's that going to take?
I know, and you're so right. And people are so obsessed with rate because honestly, I think they want to get the lowest rate because they can tell their friends they can get it plaqued, above their dinner table.
Yeah.
But it is possible. Your point is like just because rates are at 3.9 doesn't mean you can't get 2.9.
Don't shut things down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's a saying like, don't let the tax tail or shit. It's a saying.
Oh, you're always
going to
screw this up.
Don't let the tax tail wag the income dog. Never mind. Forget it.
So anyway,
there's the whole thing. Don't let the rate hinder you. Like you can always go back to you can still get 2.25.
Right.
If you pay like $15,000 up front and get your 2.25, you just got to pay for it.
So if you guys have questions at home about the economy or the housing market, put them in the comments. Steve and I read them all.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it on the next show.
All right, man.
That's
Sounds
it.
good.